Today is 11/11, and it's a super powerful day if you allow it to be, and if you are in tune with energy. It's kind of like a portal of sorts, right? So, portal for ascension, portal for elevation, portal for enlightenment, and a portal for leveling up. Let's just call it leveling up. I think sometimes when we use these spiritual terms, we lose sight on or of what it means. It means just to level up. And in leveling up, we have to continue to heal, and we have to continue to align ourselves with the things that we want to manifest. So even though it's a very powerful time to manifest, you want to make sure that you're manifesting the things that you truly want and desire, and not just what's on your mind, what you're thinking of. And the universe doesn't know, or it doesn't discern what you want versus what you don't want. It only vibes off of what you're thinking. So we have to be mindful of what we're thinking. Today I did a run. My runs are more meditative than anything. And one of the messages that I received was embossing up how it means to truly become more of a delegator. And it's crazy because my concept of bossing up before, or leveling up before, being a leader before, was always the ideal to do things and everything on my own. And that's not where we're going, right? Where we're going is back to a primitive state, and that's where we are in a service community where, each person has their thing to do, or things to do to contribute to the greater concept, or the greater thing, the greater being for all, right? And that's gonna require even a boss to learn delegation. Being a true leader means being able to ask for help when you need help. It means being able to choose the task or assign a task based off of strength, and to even be able to determine what person would better be suited for a specific task based off of their strength, and learning to delegate those responsibilities. You can be a boss, you can level up, you can build a legacy, you can build an empire just based on yourself, and you can do the work on your own. It's not to say that you can't do it, but it's going to take you longer, and not only that, it's going to be less fulfilling, in my opinion. You'll become, you have the burnouts, you have the and not to say you won't have that even when you are being a true leader and you're learning to delegate and share responsibility, but to say that it's just a far more, I would assume, less fulfilling journey, and more pride and ego than anything. Because in my past, when I was more on that, I just want to be able to do it all on my own, I wanted to be able to say I did it all on my own, and that's more pride and ego. It's not really rooted in growth. It's not really rooted in the greater good of all. And by me learning to discern, or me learning how to delegate responsibilities and ask for help from others, it allows not only me to grow, but others to grow as well. So again, we wanted to come so far from this primitive state, but that's truly who we are as people. It's a selfless service community aspect that we should be getting back to, and I do foresee that coming into our future. So if you're bossing up, if you're leveling up, if you are ascending, if you are moving up the ladder, moving up the ladder is going to also require you to learn delegation, and learning how to be a true leader in that spot, in that position, and learning your chiefs, your soldiers, and delegating responsibilities according to strengths. And it's not weak of us to ask for help. It's not weak of us to unload our plate. actually, I feel like it's more empowering of us so we can truly focus on what we came to do. Being a leader means that you have the vision. So in having the vision, your responsibility is to create it. There are roles. There was Christ and his disciples. And this isn't to say that anyone is greater than the other. It's to say that we all have our part and place in the universe. We all have our part and place on this path. Not everyone has the vision, but someone may have the service. Someone may have the heart to serve. Someone may have the strength and determination, the connections, the resources, the time, the extra, the money, the whatever to give to the greater picture, to the greater vision. So we all have our place on this journey, and when you're trying to do it all, when you're trying to be the visionary, when you're trying to be the accountant, when you're trying to be the time management, when you're trying to be the assistant, when you're trying to be the funder, when you're trying to be all those things, you can lose sight and lose focus of your part. And it takes us longer to get there. It's not weak. It's not a sign of inferiority to ask for help. It's not, it's empowering. It's actually brave, and it makes you strong, and it makes you humble yourself and grow and allow others the same capability. Someone is waiting for you to give them an opportunity to grow. Someone is waiting for you to give them an opportunity to sow a seed in your vision. If you want to do it all, then you're passing up on immense opportunity. We pay experts for expert things. You cannot be an expert at everything. And that's something that it's a hard pill to swallow, especially coming from myself. I am one of those people who wants to do everything on my own. I've always done everything on my own. It's been a survival tactic for me. When I was coming up, it was either, I did it on my own or it didn't get done. And same thing when, I was in my relationships. It always kind of seemed like either I did it on my own, or it did not get done. And that built up resentment, and it built up, you get overwhelmed, you get to the point of burnout, if not burnout, and it takes you off your path. You lose who you're becoming in the process because you're so focused on just getting it done because you're overwhelmed. You just want to complete the task. And yeah, you lose sight and you lose focus of the things that you could be learning in the process or within the journey, seeing the true growth of yourself and the true growth of your project because you just want to get it over with. So being a true boss, leveling up in its true extent, is being a leader. And being a leader requires us to delegate. It requires us to share the responsibility with those that are capable and give them the opportunity to be the expert in whatever it is they're the expert in, so you can be the expert in the vision. So that's my word for you guys today. I actually got that piece of clarity on my run. I'm gonna always say this in each video. If you are not doing some type of physical activity, if you're not running, walking, gymming, yogaing, stretching, whatever, however, a workout whatever that looks like to you, I encourage you to do that. It's an opportunity for you to connect to your breath, connect to source. I'm not ever worried or concerned about the speed, or now, let me say, because at one point I do feel like I was going more for the physical aesthetic rather than the internal aesthetic. My focus is always the breath, connecting to my breath, connecting to the full inhalation and the full exhalation so I can connect to source. So if you have a stigma behind exercise because you do feel like it's all about the aesthetic, I want you to change your perspective. Give yourself an opportunity to grow through that process of exercise and realize that it's something greater on the other side of that effort. Okay? Again, 11:11. Be super powerful. Make sure that in our mind's eye, we're only thinking of the things that we want so we can manifest the things that we want. Be mindful. I cannot stress that enough. Be mindful. The universe does not know what you want versus what you don't want. It only responds to thought. And be sure to hydrate yourself. We're still in Mercury retrograde, so that means that the energy is slow. You may even be dealing with some downs right now, and it's just the energy. When we come out of it, I want to say the end of Mercury retrograde is the 20th, so things will start to accelerate after that. So if you're not seeing any fruition from the things you have put out there, don't fret. Don't be discouraged. Time will show. You know, things will begin to show. Just give it the time. And this is also, again, one of those things I say to connect to breath, because if you're constantly looking on the external to see if these things are in your reality here, you got to make sure that it's in your reality on the in the inside, right? And that's that breath, that's that source connection. So another opportunity for you to dig into that and be prosperous internally so you can also be prosperous externally. So that's what I have for you guys today. I know I sound pretty congested because I am pretty congested. Bear with me. Please be sure to like, share, comment, and subscribe to my channel. If this message resonates with you, awesome. I felt like you should share it for that very reason. And be sure to follow me on Instagram or on Facebook. Either or. It's latara.antrese on Instagram and Latara Jackson on Facebook. So thank you guys for tuning in today. I'm gonna go do some yoga now, and